Alright, I'm gonna get to the point now that Andrew Luck is officially an Indianapolis Colt. Um, Roger Goodell's completely changed this whole league. If you think even like 7 years ago in the mid 2000s or 10 years ago in the early 2000s, the NFL game it isn't even the same as it is today. Passers, you can't even touch, defenders can't even touch passers anymore. I mean, Cam Newton's throwing for 400 yards. Eli Manning has slowly turned himself into an elite quarterback. 400 yards is the new 300, like literally. So the question is, was Andrew Luck worth was it worth drafting Andrew Luck and dumping Peyton Manning off like Jim Irsay did? And Peyton Manning is looking like he's got maybe another solid 4 or 5 years, and they could have done a run with him. But let's just call it like it is. The franchise is in ruins. They've just like ignored every. Oh, it's decayed in its own reasons, and I've gone over them in my previous videos, as you've seen. And Peyton Manning was basically like happy to get out of there the back door. Did you hear him like, oh, if they want to draft Luck, oh, because he looked around, no one's freaking there. The Polians are terrible. I've already ripped on them. I'm not going to rip on the Colts anymore. So, yeah, they had a bunch of different options. They could have stayed with Andrew Luck. Is he going to be elite? He's definitely going to be solid. He's going to be fringe. Like, I don't think he's going to be Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to be Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. But he has a chance to have top 5 years. But I don't think it was worth. You could have traded the number one pick, got a bunch of more freaking weapons for Manning. Manning has been known to carry teams. Obviously, he's carried that franchise with nothing, so it would only take a few pieces here and there, and they'd be contenders within a year and a half again. But so they're going with Luck. He's going to be solid, but it's a tough situation for him, obviously. And let me just say this. If you guys saw, like, Andrew Luck's, like, he went to, like, John Gruden camp. Well, they do that every year with the QBs. He was, like, the only one that was, like, sarcastic I've ever seen. Like, he was, like, laughing and, like, not even paying attention. He was, like, in the same room as Chucky. Like, what the hell? He has to know who John Gruden is, even though he's been out of the league for a few years. And he's like fucking wearing. I gotta say this for historical purposes. He's freaking wearing like flip flops to the John Gruden quarterback. That was recorded on film. What are you doing, Andrew Luck? Like, if a psychopathic killer came in, you'd be the first to die in a horror movie. You're wearing flip flops. Like, how are you gonna run away? Like, and then he's like fake talking on the cell phone today with his flip phone. He's like a meathead dweeb. He's football savvy. He's just enough football savvy. He's more meathead than clever. He's not smart enough to be called a nerd. He's a dweeb. But if Cam Newton can throw for 400 yards and set the league on fire, I love Robert Griffin also. Maybe they could have got another little ransom and settled for Robert Griffin. But the Colts didn't do nothing. All Jim Irsay did is let Peyton Manning walk and just fire the Polians. And now he's just going to bring Luck into this shitty situation, and he's going to obviously not going to win games for a year and a half. But if he has a chance to be Matt Ryan solid, but not the prospect like the next Eli Manning or the next John Elway or whatever. Remember when Michael Vick in '01 was hyped to be like the next god? And then he turned into like Ron Mexico and like a dog freaking kingpin. Dog fighting kingpin. You're like, what the? But someone try and convince me that he's going to be better than Aaron Rodgers. I remember Aaron Rodgers in college in the mid-2000s, his game against USC when he was like 22 for like 25. Or he was like 23 for 25, something like that. Look it up. I think it was his junior year, maybe even sophomore year versus USC. And you were like, this guy's going to be solid. It's not like the class of '04, but I don't know what the hell Tannenhill did sneaking up there. But you got to look at the draft. No draft is the same, honestly. I mean, they go where they go because that's the talent that you got to pick from. I mean, but so it doesn't mean that guy's going to be the next. He just jumped up there like J.P. Lossman. Doesn't mean he's going to be the next Roethlisberger, Tannenhill, and whatnot, you know. But Eli Manning was a slow burner, and he was the number one pick, and he had a lot of pressure on him, and look at what he's done and the numbers he's putting up now. It's so much easier to produce. Just look at the fantasy quarterbacks. They totally took over the season this year. Like, there's going to be like 3 fantasy quarterbacks going in the 2012 draft, probably going to be like in the top 10, like Breeze, Rodgers, and even Stafford could sneak into there, and definitely Newton's going to be in there. That's 4 right there. So that just tells you that the NFL's not even the same. Roger Goodell has totally changed it. You know what? This pisses me off because you remember when the NHL went out on lockout in the mid 2000s, and they came back with all these soft rules, and they're fucking calling penalties in playoff games. They're calling all these penalties. Yeah, now the NFL's like doing that like slowly, and you look up. I remember it's like you look up nowadays, and it's not even the NFL that you're watching anymore. Like with all these rules to protect everyone, I want to keep people safe too, but now they make it so you can't even touch receivers. It's not even about safety with some of these rules. It's just terrible. They just do it for the offense so people just see high scores. Just so like the drunk meatheads on Sundays are like entertained when they go to the bar and they're barely even watching the game. Like, oh, this is boring. Like, oh, 10-3 games are boring. I need to see a touchdown. This is JBM 2K5. Check out my other sports videos. If I have any more thoughts, I'll write them in annotations and subtitles on this video about Andrew Luck. Leave your comments. The Colts organization. I'd just be embarrassed if I'm Jim Irsay and he's freaking on Twitter like every other day, like bragging, like. And of course, he brought into the solid hype of. I didn't even talk about Andrew or RG3. I'm going to talk about RG3 for a second. Yeah, he's definitely the league. He's definitely going to set right in there and just produce. I mean, but the Redskins, DC has been like a black hole for QBs lately. They can't really. They always have flimsy wide receivers and whatnot. But him and Garcon, ESPN is definitely going to underrate Garcon. You definitely got to pick him up. He's going to be valuable in late in draft or mid in drafts. Someone will take him a few rounds. It's easy to just. It's better to just go out and take the guys maybe a few rounds earlier if he's going to produce like a guy going that round. But yeah, RG3 has definitely a chance to put up numbers just like Cam Newton. Not the exact same numbers as Cam Newton, but to be a fantasy beast like Cam Newton, double-digit fantasy players, he's going to be sick. He's a pure passer. Don't let his... And there's always been a... I'm not even going to... I'm done. I've spit out enough thoughts. I think they're both going to be solid. I think that RG3 has maybe more potential to be a superstar, and Andrew Luck's has more of a chance, is more of a guaranteed pick to be at least like Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco solid. All right, I'm done.